Bills for approval, approval of a Fire Inc. invoice. Under Public Safety, proposal for amendments to Chapter 40 of City Code related to mandatory collection of garbage. Crosswalk signs and yellow painted curbs on County Road 66. Under Park and Library, we have State of Minnesota grant contract agreement with the Cross Lake Area Library. Seeing no further additions, is there any other discussion? Seeing no further discussion, is there a motion to approve the additions?
I move to approve the additions to the agenda.
Sandy moves to approve the additions. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Bob seconds. Is there any further discussion? Seeing no further discussion, those in favor of approving the additions to the agenda signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Ayes have it. The additions are approved. Public forum. This time is reserved for the, what? Oh, sorry.
Are you ready?
You're first. I was just going to go through and do the... Go ahead. You're good. You're good.
Good evening, City Council. Half of you guys have met him already, but this is our new officer, Nick Davis. He just started here this morning, so we thought it would be a perfect time to have Shar do the oath of office for him. Just get that out of the way this very first council meeting that he's here. So
Perfect.
Fantastic.
We're excited to have you join us. You breezed through and wowed us all on the interview committee, so good job. Good job.
Happy to be here. Excited to be here. Do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States, the Constitution of the State of Minnesota, and to discharge faithfully the duties of a police officer for the police department of the city of Cross Lake, Minnesota, to the best of my knowledge and ability. So help me God.
congratulations, Nick.
You too.
Nice.
Perfect. Welcome, Officer Davis. We're glad you're here. Thank you. All right, public forum. This time is reserved for those persons who have a desire to address the council and have officially submitted in writing by Friday noon prior to the city council meeting a request to be placed on the agenda. First, Alden, you're up.
Today, PAL would like to share the vision of what we're doing with the Maple Tree Planting Project. Now, this is the vision of what it's going to be. Now, you have to imagine 30 years from now before this happens, but it started. We had a tree planting day in May, and 35 kids from the charter school came. And so the 5th and 7th graders. And we split them into groups. First it was too many, so half went to the playground, and then half came and planted, and then we switched halfway through. And the teachers and the teachers' aides came, so we had quite a few adults there. We had the PAL volunteers, and then we had a driver to drive the cart, and then we had the teachers, and then all the students. And it was a rainy, cold day, but we soon forgot about that because there was quite a bit of excitement in planting the trees. We had to set up a team of 5, and so each student had a certain job with a leader. And first, somebody was to rake the spot. Then we had a drill, and we would drill a hole. Then somebody else would kneel down and plant the little seedling in the hole. Then somebody else would come and push compost around the roots. And then we put wood chips over that. And then we had flag planted where we could see where it was. And it really was a fun time. At first, the students were a little hesitant. I don't want to get my hands dirty. Or when one found out the compost had horse manure and fish guts in it, it wasn't as exciting as you thought it was going to be. But they soon got into it. And then, I want to do the rake, I want to do the drill, I want to do this. And so we as leaders had a good time with it. And then when the time came to split, I was kind of disappointed because this group was really working well. But then the next group came and they did a nice job too. The spacing of the seedlings, we put them about every 10 feet along both sides of the trail. And now you see TJ has shown the trail in green there, and that's where we planted. And it was about near a mile, maybe 3/4 of a mile of planting. And so every 10 feet, where we could find a space, we'd plant a little seedling. And the idea of this, if this works out, then every year this will be an event with the students. And they'll come and plant the trees. And sometime, 20 years from now, they'll come and say, this was I did. These big trees, and of course maple trees have a lot of seedlings, and so they'll start more trees. And so we'll convert some of the fall pleasure viewing right to the trails. And if this continues, we'll do some of the bike trails in the city too. It's just a nice way of building something for the future. And if you don't know about the trails, they're really a pretty spot, and so I'm going to put a little commercial in. Trail rides are available every Wednesday, free, and there really are a nice set of trails we have at the community center. So come and enjoy that. You have to sign up because they fill up, but then call a community center and do that. And so we think it's a good start. We had a good time. I think many of the students did. And then here is the group. You see the group first, the leaders, armed with their drills and their augers. We're missing Pam in the picture because she's taking the pictures. And then you start to see the students gathered around. We'd see this is the compost, and they load in the pail and they bring it. And then we go along the trails with the group, finding the spots to plant, and then do the planting. And TJ, roll on to the next one. And it was just a fun day. There you see the seedlings. The teacher is holding the seedlings in her hand. Mm-hmm. And so they're quite small. But we all got into it. And there are just beautiful spots in those trails. And so again, I invite you to come. But in the future, it'll be different. And then here is the seedling. We were really excited. It was like a week and a half later. And one of TJ's guys came in and said, did you see that seedling? He had a picture. And it's like we gave birth. Only a maple tree birth. So it's a start. I think it's something to be special in Cross Lake.
Yes.
A long time in the future. But, the future will come. Some of us are a little old and we won't see 20 years from now and see all those nice things. But many of you will. And so we got a nice start in Cross Lake.
Alden, where did you obtain all the seedlings?
We got some from Rapol, wasn't it? And another one from Glory Rivers Nursery in Wisconsin. And they were a reasonable cost. We had a donation to cover them, but they were like $1.50 a piece, wasn't that, TJ?
So
Yeah.
nice. It's great that you did that.
Yeah, Alden, thank you. And thank you for always being a visionary for the future of Cross Lake.
Thank you.
So thank you.
very much.
Up next is Jackie Whipper with Town Square.
Hi.
All right, so Sandy asked me to come and talk about the first annual Legacy Gardens Block Party that we have coming up this weekend. This is a new event. It's a summer kickoff celebration for the community. We're super excited about it. The rundown of events for the day is from 12 to 6. We have all of the kids' activities in the vendor fair. So we have a petting zoo, we have Babinski doing the pet adoptions, we have bounce houses, we have Wonder Trek, and then we have the cornhole tournament from 1 to 3. We have live music all day from 1 o'clock to 9:45, and during that time we also have food and beer gardens out there from Massieris. And then at 9:45 we have the fireworks as well. So it should be just kind of a great full day of community events. Everything short of the vendor fair is free. It's been provided. The Lions paid for the petting zoo, and then the Legacy Gardens sponsored the rest. So it should be a really great day. And I brought some flyers that I'll leave out there. If anybody has one that they want to shoot off to anybody can go to crosslaketownsquare.com and get more info, or reach out to me. And we hope to see everybody there. We want to see a really grand turnout and see everybody come together and have a lot of fun.
Thank you,
Keep up the
Jackie.
energy, Jackie.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Up next, I know Mr. Mobeck couldn't be here tonight, but is there someone here? Okay, Cindy, you're in place of John this evening.
I am. John is not able to be here this evening, so he asked me to attend to bring you up to speed on the Loon and Lakes Festival that is happening June 20th and 21st. Again, a lot of activities are taking place in the Cross Lake Town Square. It's a full day, all day Friday and all day Saturday. Friday morning it starts with sunrise loon paddles, so bring your kayaks and your canoes down to the Cross Lake and the Duck Lake access for a morning canoe paddle ride. They have the stewardship going all day. There's another Pine River paddle. I'm assuming they're going to utilize the new dock at the Pine River Park. They're doing a lakeshore cleanup. So from 10 to 1 along the property of the Pine River and the boat ramps near the campground. If you want to help clean up that lakeshore, please do that. Another one of the bigger things we're super excited about is the groundbreaking for the National Loon Center. So this is going to be located, there's signs at the corner of Swan and Pioneer across from Whitefish Lodge and Suites, the property where the Loon Center will be. Norson has been brought on as the construction management team, and they're helping us facilitate a groundbreaking with the gold shovels and the hats and the celebratory ceremony. So that is literally almost 10 years in the making from the time this came to from an idea to the fruition of this Loon Center. So you are invited to attend that ceremony. And then there is an evening pontoon tour on the pontoon, paddles going on. Saturday is more of a town square activity day with a loon fair. So they're going to have over 40 vendors and exhibitors and conservation officers at a vendor fair in Town Square. They're having tremolo talks in the gazebo, focusing on wildlife, the return of the swans, pollinators. They have a guest, Sam Zimmerman, who is a Minnesota-based artist, author, and educator, recently featured by the American Birding Association, where the common loon was just named the 2025 Bird of the Year. So it's fitting that we're breaking ground on the National Loon Center for that. Then they're also having live music from 6 to 8 in the gazebo. There will be food trucks, dining options in the Town Square area for sure. So all days Saturday from 12 to 8, that is all taking place. And you are all invited to attend.
Awesome. Thank you, Cindy. We appreciate that. Thank you. All right, Mr. Coffey, this better be a good update.
Thanks for letting me come. Sandy, thanks for the invitation to do this. First of all, I have a brochure here that I'll leave out on the table. We had this done for the Governor's Fishing Opener. We got invited by the DNR to put this in their packet, so we had that prepared. And it's a nice little piece about Starry. But on to the update. A little bit of background, because I know several of you are new, but Starry stonewort was found in the Rush Channel, September of 2024. We mounted a rapid response that involved researchers from MACERC, the Minnesota Aquatic Invasive Species Research Center, the DNR, the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, other experts, and city and council people and officials and staff from around here. A makeshift barrier was put in place until the silt fence barrier could be deployed. Multiple volunteers assisted the DNR divers to hand pull and dispose of the biomass. And then the two recommended algicides were applied. The silt fence barrier was removed and then stored at the Cross Lake Maintenance Facility. All this happened in a little less, more than a month. I tell you the story because the city of Cross Lake, you all, were a big part of the story. You quickly closed the right-of-way, helping with the hand-pulling effort, and then storing the barrier. And we're very grateful for that. That's a big deal for us to have that. So in the 2025 plan, March and April, we found we could apply for a grant from the Laura Jane Musser Fund. So we're applying for a $35,000 grant from them to help with this. On May 5th, Camden Droppo, the AIS specialist for the Brainerd Lakes area, he dove the area to determine the success of the 2024 effort and surveyed to see if there was any spread. This is where the good news comes. They found almost no stems or biomass.
Perfect.
That's the really good news. So they found almost no. So, but the other side of the coin is they took a core sample of the sediment, and in that sediment they found the bulbils. And the bulbils are like the seeds for starry stonewort. So the problem with that is that there are literally, based upon the sample, number of bulbils in the sample, and extrapolating that out over the 0.7 acres, there's about 45 million bulbils ready to reproduce in there. So that's the bad news in this. On May 7th, the silt fence barrier was installed by the dive guys out of Merrifield. It was a difficult day, and then it moved on us, so we subsequently had to have PLM come in, and they were the original installer. We hired them to put it back in place in the proper spot. But they also, the good news, they found very little biomass, but the same result with the sediment samples. What we have learned from the researchers and the DNR has caused us to maybe change a little bit what we thought, or reevaluate what we thought we would do back in the March and April timeframe. The bulbils act as the seed, and as the biomass grows, it starts to set new bulbils. Once it starts to settle back into in the fall, and the new bulbils get a chance to get back in the sediment, then they're there, they're gonna grow in the next year. And the algicides don't work on bulbils in sediment. They really don't work well on any, but if you can kill the plant, you effectively can kill the bulbil. Our plan is to allow the biomass to grow to a point where it is potentially can be hand pulled and treated to kill the biomass, preventing setting new bulbils. Hand pulling is important, and because the thinner the amount of biomass, the more the algicides can get down to the bottom and work on the lower parts of the stems and that kind of thing. So it's important to note that when we say treatment, we are actually doing a double treatment. There's the initial one on the first day, then you do another one 2 weeks later. And we're looking at not just doing 2, but potentially 3. We want to hit it as quickly as we can, as quickly as we have enough biomass, hit it with the treatment, with the algicides, let it fall back, let it grow again, hit it again, fall back, hit it again. The idea is to try to make less and less bulbils that can regenerate from year to year. We hope to be doing weekly dives to determine the density of the biomass and the concentration of the bulbils in the sediment over the course of the summer. Mankato State University professor Ryan Wursel has offered to have his students do a algae challenge to determine the best algicide to use in this particular case, and he's offered to do that without cost, which is very important to us.
How did you find him?
Actually, we found him because of the people out at Lake Coronis. They had worked with Ryan on their infestation when it started back in 2015. And so he was involved in the discussions we had last year, and helpful in determining which algicides to at least try. And he was obviously right, it worked pretty well.
Great resource.
Yes, it is. So we've ordered a set of warning buoys. They just came in. We want to put those around the silt fence barrier, so if we pull the silt fence barrier, people can't get into the area. It's really important to keep boats out of that area, because as the biomass grows, that's how it gets spread. It gets on the propellers and other parts of the boat, and it can be spread. We are planning to do more intensive surveys around the chain this year to hopefully get a jump if we should find a new infestation. So what are the finances? Well, we've put together a budget this year of approximately $44,000. that's primarily focused on the Rush Channel at this point, but it also is doing the additional surveys and around. We're going to pay for that. Right now, we're using the Non-Native Invasive Species Fund that was established by the WAPOA Board back in 2013. That's how that's the funding mechanism until we find out if we get the grant from the Musser Fund. We've also allocated $10,000 from our Water Quality Special Projects Fund. And then the county has a $2,500 grant for us that is there. And so we keep looking for different grants. But we can't be certain that the Musser Fund will come through or that we won't find another infestation. So we are thankful for anybody that contributes, particularly our members, other organizations, the city helping out with the storage, any other things that you would like to contribute. If you've got another $45,000 sitting in the budget that you'd like to put towards it, that would be great. But thank you for all you've done to help.
Tony, when did you say, maybe I missed it, but when did you say we would hear about the Musser Fund, if we got that or not?
That'll come up early July.
Early July, okay.
Yep.
Well, thank you for your continued dedication on this. If it wasn't you, I don't know what we would be doing and how to handle it, so thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Appreciate that.
Yeah.
Thank you, Tony.
You all have a
Thank
great
you.
day.
Thank you.
Moving on, the consent calendar. All items listed here are routine by the city council and will be acted on by one motion. There will be no separate discussion on these items unless a citizen or council member so requests. Does anybody have any questions about the consent calendar?
I do not.
Seeing no questions, is there a motion to approve the consent calendar?
I'll move to approve the consent calendar.
Sandy moves, is there, Jamie seconds? Seeing a second, no further discussion. Those in favor of approving the consent calendar signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, same sign. Ayes have it. Mayor and council members' reports. First, there's a resolution accepting donations. The PAL Foundation donated $499.95 for trail cams. Nancy and Dale Hathaway donated $1,140 for a memorial bench to be placed in town. And Mike and Kelly Haglund generously donated $5,000 to the police department. Do I have a motion to accept the donations?
I'll make a motion to accept the donations as listed.
I'll second that.
Second, is there any further discussion? Seeing no further discussion, those in favor of approving or accepting the donation signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, same sign. Ayes have it. Next, discuss issuing a city-issued cell phone for a council member. I think this is yours, Robin.
It is. I'm requesting to turn in the iPad and swap it out for a cell phone. My understanding, talking to Lori, and maybe Shar, you have a little more detail, is that it's a zero cost to the council. It's just clunky for me to carry like I do my cell phone, and I feel like I could stay better connected. So that's my request.
Does anyone have any questions or concerns on a cell phone, going down the cell
So is
phone
it-
route instead of iPads?
So is it the same plan? I mean,
Yep, it would be the same plan.
okay, so there's no cost to the city?
No additional
Don't we have to
cost.
buy a phone?
I think it's a zero cost to the phone.
Shar, is there a cost in buying a phone? I mean, I didn't think we had the phones all. To buy a phone?
I said I would even donate if I had to pay for the phone to the city just because of the convenience and the communication struggles that I had.
Gotcha.
But
Gotcha. I mean, I guess if it's that cheap, then
There's no cost to us.
there's no cost to us. Sure.
Yeah, then I'll make a motion that we approve the cell phone exchange.
Perfect.
if there's a dollar cost, may I contribute the dollar?
If you would so generously pay the 99 cents for the phone, knock yourself out. Seeing there's a motion, is there a second?
I'll second it.
Jamie seconds. Seeing no further discussion, those in favor of swapping out the iPad for an iPhone signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, same sign. Ayes have it.
Thank you.
Yep. All right, letters dated May 27th, 2025 from the Crow Wing County Highway Department. So these are just for informational only, and I'm going to read these. Future county highway project, the Crow Wing County Highway Department is planning to rehabilitate County Road 120, which is Fawn Lake Road, in 2028. I am following up as a project manager for the above referenced project that is within the city of Cross Lake. The information below will inform the city about the upcoming project and provide an opportunity for the city to give feedback. The Crow Wing County Highway Department is planning to rehabilitate County Road 120 between County State Aid Highway 39 and 3. The project is anticipated to involve a bituminous level and overlay. The purpose of this letter is to inform you that the project is currently in the preliminary planning and design phase. Furthermore, we ask that the city begin thinking about any joint or tied projects that may create a cost savings opportunity for the community. If the city has any concerns with this project or interest in a joint project, please contact us with the appropriate feedback. That's one. The next one, same thing. This is the Crow Wing County Highway Department planning to build a roundabout at the intersection of County State Aid Highway 3 and 36 and 103 in the summer of 2028. The Crow Wing County Highway Department is planning to build a roundabout at the intersection. Once again, the project is anticipated to need additional right-of-way than what is existing at this intersection, and utilities will most likely be impacted and a detour will be used during the construction. The purpose of this letter is to inform you that this project is currently in the preliminary planning stages and design phase. Furthermore, we ask that the city begin thinking about any joint or tied projects that may create a cost savings opportunity for the community. And I could tell you there is conversation going on right now of partnering with Crow Wing County and doing an additional trail and branching a trail from the bridge on County Road 3 at the concrete dam, coming all the way down to County Road 103, and then going west towards West Shore Drive. So we're going to see if we can partner in that and move that project along moving forward. Number 4, Sandy, this is you. Take it away.
Yeah, well, it was brought to my attention that despite signs indicating otherwise, many people who are traversing around Town Square are going the wrong way, which creates a definite safety hazard for, not only people who aren't looking for cars coming that way might be crossing, but also for other vehicles. So as a proposal to alleviate that situation was the idea of on, I think it's Oslin and then Allen and Gould. One side is diagonal parking, the other side is parallel parking. So it appears on first glance, talking to Phil, the city engineer, and also Pat, that there's room to do that. So it would narrow the roads so that it wouldn't look like you could go both ways. And it would be a much more, greater indication that this is one way. So, and, a nice byproduct that would increase parking, around Town Square. So, I'm just suggesting that we enable Phil and Pat to go out there and actually measure it to make sure that there's room, after which we can, have a definite proposal about that. So that's the topic. Anyone have any?
So just the preliminary stage right now.
Yeah.
No, I can get behind that. I can get along that.
And just to add information, there's been some discussion about who owns those roads or who's responsible. But thanks to Phil, we found a document between Jim Anderson and Patty Norgard saying that, the city is responsible. They are public roads. So they were bequeathed to us, so.
Awesome.
So there's no, just no needed discourse about whether we're responsible or not, so.
Just because I know.
There was some discussion about
Yeah.
it's just the city road, not the parking spots. The city owns just the driving lanes, not where you park.
So we don't own the spots. We just.
There's some discussion on that, and I'm not sure where.
It said that it was meant to include all streets and avenues within the plat, but not the pedestrian spaces.
Pat, I'll let you duke it. Well, not duke it out. Wrong word.
Well,
Wrong word.
That one we were looking at was number 2 there, where it says, although dedicated on the plat, the city shall not take over any maintenance of any pedestrian ways as depicted on the plat. And it's just one of the things that we just gotta figure out, make sure we're right on it before.
The parking spaces, are they not part of the street? Are they considered pedestrian?
That's where we gotta figure out yet on it. But
Okay,
we'll get that figured out.
okay.
We used to have big red do not enter signs there that were pretty visible, but they eventually blew away or fell down or got stolen or something, I don't know.
Something
But there's
happened.
definitely a lack of signage there as well for
Oh, there
the,
was signage. Jackie, can you speak to that?
Yeah, Jim put up last summer.
Jackie, yeah, come to the microphone, please,
Not for long.
and just state your Cross Lake address, please.
My Cross Lake address?
Just town, even if you say Town Square, that's fine.
Okay, Town Square.
Perfect.
Last year, Jim purchased and put in the middle of the streets signs, they're white street signs on a black pole, we still have them. People went right by them. They said, you know, one way or turn here, I don't remember exactly what they said, but they did not do anything. And people still go the wrong way all the time, all the time.
Didn't Jim threaten to take a baseball bat out there?
He said he was gonna stand out there with the club, and as calm as that man was, I think that says a lot in itself. Yeah.
It's a problem, and I just think this seems
Would-
like a really logical way to.
Would
to
arrows,
correct it.
arrows painted on the street help?
I don't,
I say, I thought there was already arrows in there.
yeah, I
worn
think there
out,
is, and there was
but-
arrows
They're
on the
faded to
signs
hell.
as well.
but those little signs were kind of little, and they could move pretty easily, so people couldn't even see them until it was too late. So that's why I think we need to get back to maybe a handful of permanent signs, the larger ones that,
I'm guessing Jim bought those.
Yeah, he did.
They weren't the cities, I don't think.
I think what
I mean, we
we,
could add some permanent ones up on the boulevard, but
I think we
we
need
almost
to,
need it in the
yes.
middle of the road, and obviously, we can't do that in the wintertime.
the big red one on the stop sign facing
Yeah.
out was pretty effective while it was there.
I do support the angling of the parking, because then it's kind of like going down that, doesn't Detroit Lake still have one that goes the same direction?
Right.
Downtown, the whole downtown?
So does this
I mean, it
one.
makes it very visible too, and you get additional parking, so I do support that.
First, Pat, I think you need to figure out between this agreement from 2017, what the city is covering and what we do not cover. I mean, we could say,
We'll do that, and then, like I say, we'll meet with Phil and make sure we hit all the measurements that we
Okay.
have to
Correct.
change anything.
So do you need a motion for you to? do
it
that?
just said, this is just discussed, but I imagine you can talk with Phil.
Yeah.
And get something going.
Yep.
And if you need anything from us on behalf of Town Square or Crosswoods Development, just
Okay.
let me know, and I can take care of that.
Okay.
Fantastic,
Jackie.
thank you.
Shar, do we need a motion to set this in action, or?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Okay, great.
I think we're golden. All right, city administrators report. Shar, I think you're going to take this over for this evening.
So the first item is the second reading of the ordinance adding a special events liquor license.
Is it just what we've added just in red, correct?
Correct.
So the governing body of the municipality may authorize a holder of a retail on-sale intoxicating liquor license issued by the municipality to dispense intoxicating liquor off premises at a community festival held within the municipality. The authorization shall specify the area in which intoxicating liquor must be dispensed and consumed and shall not be issued unless the license demonstrates that it has liability insurance to cover the event as required in Chapter 4 by the City Code of Cross Lake. The next page, for under liquor licenses, special event for retail on-sale intoxicating liquor license is $200 with an updated date of June 9th, 2025. Does any council member have any other additional conversation or discussion?
I don't.
No? No? All right,
So,
we're gonna,
Motion to approve it?
yeah,
I'll
yep.
make a motion to approve it.
And I'll second.
Perfect. Any further discussion? Seeing that there's a motion and a second, those voting in favor of the approval signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Ayes have it.
And that was just a motion to approve the fee as well as the ordinance?
Correct.
Okay. The second one is an application for a special event liquor license from 14 Lakes Pub and Brewery. He has submitted everything that is required, and the new ordinance states, your authorization shall specify the area in which the liquor must be dispensed and consumed.
So I see there's a map here with a red dot.
Right.
I'm assuming the liquor is going to be in the red dot.
I'm assuming you need to specify where the liquor is going to be.
Well, there's a bunch of different colors.
I don't
and
know what those dots mean.
colors
That came
and,
directly from the Loon Center.
There's colors and shapes and everything on here.
I know.
Jackie, you want to come up here for a second?
Or Cindy?
Or Cindy, or someone who's
Becky's no.
who's wise in liquor?
Regardless of what any of that is, you guys decide
Right.
where it should be dispensed.
Okay.
Well, what do you think
And
of liquor
Jake,
coming
I don't
out of the
know if you
gazebo? You want? We're gonna put the liquor in the gazebo, and that's where you have to go get it, because we have to specify a location.
There's going to be
They
music.
have a band, don't they?
Yeah, there's-
Okay, so there's a band in the red dot. What about, Jake? Oh, you're not, yeah, we're figuring what color we want to put the liquor in. There's blue and green and different numbers. This is like a scavenger hunt for alcohol.
So is it our duty as a council?
Far away.
There is no legend for the map. It's a do-it-yourself map.
The blue is the food trucks on that
Yeah.
side.
Okay. What about green number 2?
That must be the vendors,
Yeah.
What's the green? Is that like
the
the
vendor fair.
vendor fair? Okay, so none of these boxes pertain to alcohol.
Correct.
I think the red dot must be,
Yes, that would make more sense. Should we make a yellow triangle or just tell them to, I'm kidding.
Specify town square.
Yeah, can it be that broad, Miss Nelson?
It doesn't say it can't be.
well, let's just say.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. I didn't know if it had to be a location because we have a map with stuff on it. I'm fine with that, as long as everyone else is fine with liquor in town square.
Anderson event, Cross Lake Town Square. I would-
Perfect. Knock it off, Jamie, or knock it out.
I'll make a motion to approve the special event liquor license for June 25th, or June
In-
21st, sorry. June 21st.
In town square.
Town Square as presented.
There's a first. Is there a second?
Second.
Sandy seconds. Is there any further discussion? Seeing no further discussion, those approving the approval of the special event liquor license to hold liquor within town square signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, same sign. Ayes have it. Thank you, Shar. All right, Jake. Little discuss issues at short-term rentals with trash cans being left out longer than 24 hours / the proposal of the amendments to chapter 40 of the city code related to mandatory collection of garbage. So I put on letter A, you put on letter B. So I just had,
B and C.
B and
A's already out the door because you guys already voted not to do that.
correct, but I'm just bringing it back up, seeing if there's appetite, because I get email complaints constantly, and I know what we can't, everyone would have to do it. Wouldn't be
The whole
just
city, and
short-term
that's-
rentals, it would be the whole city. You
Right,
can't
that's why I
just,
think you guys decided not to, the last council did.
yep, I just wanted to bring it back up again, that there's conversation out there that people are having some issues about trash cans being left out at the end of the road all week long, day in and day out.
Well, the Public
Yeah, I know.
Safety Commission spoke at length about this last week. And, we do have quite a
Yes.
ordinance on, there's a lot that's spelt out. I don't know why we couldn't add to that current ordinance that discusses leaving them out, at least in the road right of way. I don't know. But what about the people that leave on Sunday afternoon and put their trash can out and they're not here till the following weekend? That's why the council
I hear you.
decided not to do it, because nobody's here to do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's something for you guys to decide. The big thing we talked about was the bears getting into, there seems to be
yes.
more and more bears around. And once they find dinner, they'll constantly go back to dinner.
That's the angle I was looking at it from, was the bears. It's constant.
I think that's more of an issue than people just leaving their cans out. But it's because the bears are getting into them, right?
They go hand in hand.
And,
Go ahead, go ahead.
Jamie's probably going to say the same thing I am, that, I mean, the bears obviously get into them when there is food in there, which is, and almost everyone puts their garbage out on Sunday night because they come at 6 in the morning, so now you're asking everyone to drag their cans out. I mean, it just seems like it's really hard to regulate that.
Oh, it is. Go ahead, Bob.
One of the concerns that we talked about at Public Safety was the people leave on Sunday afternoon to go back home to the cities for the ones that are part-timers, and then the bear hits them that night. The garbage is out there all week till they come back up on Friday when they can pick it up. So we can't have that either.
Right, you can't have garbage all over the place.
So I added F1B to, that's the whole, basically, the whole section or chapter regarding solid waste and garbage and everything else. I highlighted some things in there that basically already cover what we're talking about. First one highlighted is just basically the definition of what garbage is, but section 40-36, if you read that, it says sanitary storage of all garbage, the owner and or occupant of any premises is responsible for the sanitary storage of all garbage. Okay, I'm not reading every word in there, but those are the words in there. Section 40-37, satisfactory storage of garbage, basically. Then the person in control of that residential property, business, or establishment shall be responsible for the satisfactory storage. If we go further, what it should be stored in, a durable, rust-resistant, non-absorbent, watertight, rodent-proof. Are we talking rats or bears? I mean, what's rodent? Bear's a nuisance, it's a pest, so.
Well, it's not a rodent, it's not a bear.
Easily cleanable containers with close fitting, well, that's for bugs and stuff, but, I mean, you got sections in there that regulate that.
We're not doing anything about it, is the thing.
Right.
That's the thing.
They shall be maintained in a
Yes,
manner as to prevent the creation of a nuisance or menace to public health.
right, we have this, but we don't do anything with it.
So then the last one, you can see where it says violations there.
Right, whenever a violation found that a violation of the provisions of this article exists, the Department of Public Works, Police Department, and/or City Clerk may take action to correct the conditions by serving a written order or notice upon the person responsible, therefore directing him to discontinue the illegal action or correct the condition.
So let's back up a
Yes.
step here, okay? So the first thing is we're talking about bears getting into garbage. Where's the violation? If I put my garbage out at 10 PM and a bear comes at 1 AM, I either shoot the bear or let the bear get into my garbage.
Well, no, but you're responsible for cleaning it up, or maybe if you're.
Okay.
That's
So
kind
the
of what
violation
we're
is-
getting at, is there a way that we need to give them, or add, probably have our city attorney, maybe if we can add to this ordinance and say if it's not cleaned up within 24 hours, then there's a violation there and enforcement action will be taken. And if they can't clean it up, if they're not here and they can't clean it up, then they either need to get somebody else to do it or contact my future business, which will be that. $100 per can.
Or-
No, I'm joking, but,
We have 3 garbage haulers. What do they say about, is there a way to bear-proof your garbage?
Well, they come and they cut the ratchet straps, they cut the bungee cords.
the problem with putting those on, and then you gotta remember to go out there early in the morning and take them off, so at that
They
point,
just slash them.
they won't take them off.
Okay. I know that one of the services will come pick up the garbage cans from your garage, bring them down, haul them out and do it. Because there's several short-term rentals I know that do that because they didn't want to leave 5 or 6 garbage cans at the end of the road.
Right.
I mean. Yep. So,
So that discussion was brought up, and you as a council needs to decide what kind of action, if you want to look into adding to the thing, the enforcement part of
Well, it
it.
already says it's a misdemeanor, so.
Go ahead, Chip. Well, you're over there.
I mean, if there's some way for, say, the garbage collectors to notify one, if they're.
Yeah.
I'd like to see enhanced clarification of language on here. I think if our committee can propose additional language. We had some great ideas sitting at the table last week. The other thing is, it shouldn't be a misdemeanor. It's a bear. You can't avoid them, but let's have a penalty or an amount that's sufficient for us if we, as a city, have to provide the service. That's my opinion.
Well, the violation comes in just leaving it there, not.
Not
you
the
can't
bear
help it if
hitting the
bear-
can.
There was one
Right.
particular place, short-term rental, and I'm just saying short-term rental, just to lay the foundation. It's not, there's other places in town that aren't short-term rentals as it's happening.
Yep.
But, the trash was scattered across several pieces of property, but, right across the road from this particular one, you walk in, and there was at least 2 or 3 years worth of garbage in there that the landowner didn't know about, and you couldn't really see it from the road until you kind of got over a little berm, and then once I walked back up in there, it was like that bear came back every year, week after week. There was garbage everywhere, probably covering a couple acres.
Oh, geez.
Spread out in there, an acre probably. It was really spread out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like it was every week.
What do you got, Bob?
The bear is not committing the misdemeanor.
Right. No. I get that. But make it, even,
But the problem is, like I said earlier, if somebody's leaving Sunday afternoon, going back to the city, is not up here till Friday, we can't have their garbage strewn about all week long.
Right.
That's the issue.
That's the issue.
Right. Right.
so it's
So,
the cleanup. The cleanup is a misdemeanor.
Yeah, I don't think
But
this,
still, you don't know when it happens, so you got to get to know your neighbor, ask them to bring any garbage, call me if a bear's got into it, or you have a fine.
Well, is there a way that we can identify, the individuals to whom this has occurred, that they, when the trash pickup comes and they see it's thrown all over? Chip, please.
as I say, you're clawing at that microphone.
So why don't you just make it in the ordinance that if the city gets a phone call that there's garbage everywhere, nobody answers their phone for the homeowner, Public Works goes clean it up and you send them a bill?
Brilliant. Bingo.
Nice job, Chip.
Bingo. Pat, what do you think of that?
I'm thinking my guys won't be too happy with it.
I got plenty of rubber gloves.
But garbage pickup is Monday, Thursday, and
It's all week.
Well, how about if the charge went directly to you, to the Public Works?
Well, or why don't we get a hold of the providers and say, if we have an incident, can we contract with you? And then let's bill them the contract plus overhead cost.
They have a
yeah, I don't know if you want to start forcing
Adjusting
those
their
guys to
route,
do
they will
something they
not
never
do
signed
that.
up for, because I've cleaned up trash left over from a bear and it wasn't my garbage. I was disgusted. I do not want to pick through, I don't even want to tell you what I found in the trash.
I hear
somebody
ya.
say that if we called the refuse hauler, they would come and clean it up if a bear knocked it over?
We can check with them.
Prior to pickup, if somebody calls and complains, I know there was one call down one road that I know, she told me about it, that she called and then she called the waste hauler and they came and cleaned it up. So I don't know if that's their norm or if that was an exception or what, but, ultimately, it's the homeowner's responsibility.
Miss Nelson.
I think maybe we should start with the waste haulers and see what they do.
Okay.
And maybe if they have suggestions.
Jackson, can you?
Do you want to make that phone
Sure.
call? I can call Tyler
Sure.
and whatever. I'll handle Pequot
Okay.
sanitation because I know him well. So we'll tag team that. Start with that, but we got to go back to A.
Which is the.
A is this would have to be citywide if we did it. Do we want to really start getting in the business of dictating where people can and cannot put their trash cans?
No.
No, no. Bob, Robin,
No.
no.
What they can put in their trash can?
No, where they can and can't put it. Because some people, I get emails probably at least 6 a month of different people. Oh, there's trash cans again at the end of the road.
The right-of-way is a clear delineation. Back it up.
It's not as clear as you think.
Yeah, and what if they leave
Yeah?
Friday afternoon
No, talk to your neighbor.
and they're not requiring Sunday afternoon?
That could have been me last
I get the plight. I get the plight. So,
So that is in the ordinance though, right? They can't leave it out?
I don't know, that's what I'm trying to,
In the
that's the
short-term
question.
rental ordinance.
I didn't think when we did that,
So-
when we,
It's not in ordinance.
when we did the short-term rental, I thought we kicked that out because we said we had to do it citywide if we were gonna do it.
Correct.
We did. kick
And
it
there's
out.
no, there's nothing in the city ordinance about,
Leaving,
That was in the
right,
short-term rental one.
no,
I didn't think so.
I think it is.
no.
You sure?
Well, Chip's looking at it.
They voted not to put it in there.
Are you
Because
looking,
then we
Chip?
would add, we couldn't make the short-term rental people bring their
Right.
garbage cans in if we didn't make everyone else do it.
Right.
So they didn't put it in.
And I know they're coming from planning and zoning, I believe, coming or being worked on or whatever for businesses and restaurants and whatnot. There's going to be some new added language where they have to shield their disposal, their dumpsters, they have to fence them in and everything else coming out of public
And really,
works.
it's just enforcing it. We have it in our ordinance, it's just going around and then actually enforcing it.
Right, right. So I understand it is unsightly for trash cans at the end of the
And that
road.
would be the same thing. It's just a matter of enforcing it if they're way out in the road right of way. But I couldn't, it'd be impossible to keep up.
It's in the ordinance.
It is?
It is in yours, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, read it, Chip, please.
And what,
Disposal of solid waste must comply with Crow Wing County Solid Waste Ordinance or its successor or replacement. Garbage, refuse, or recycling shall be stored completely enclosed within designated refuse containers. The owner or owners, authorized agent, property manager of the STR shall provide sufficient trash storage containers and service to accommodate the demand of the occupants. Trash storage containers must be removed from roadside pickup within 24 hours scheduled pickup.
All right, so if that's in the STRs, I say we make a motion to make that citywide. If we're gonna make one group do it,
It's in the short-term rental.
it's in the short-term rental ordinance.
Section
One group has to do it.
23.
But the thing is, short-term rentals have managers, who don't leave, I mean,
They're required to
What's,
have,
Yes,
yeah, but
yes, required.
what's the difference?
short-term rentals have 5, 6, or 7 garbages.
Yeah,
I have one.
yeah, right.
reluctant to make that an ordinance for the citywide. I'm reluctant, that's just my,
I hear you, that's why we're having the conversation.
Yeah, it's, again, it's that problem with the people going home on Sunday afternoon, Sunday evening, and
Right.
now you gotta have them, find somebody that's gonna roll their.
No, I
garbage
hear ya.
up to
that was the STR ordinance? That was the STR ordinance? That was the STR ordinance?
Jamie,
Yeah.
what do you think?
I'm not in favor of having a residential pull their garbage cans up. I mean, in my road, they push them back far enough after the truck leaves, they're in,
Yeah, that's,
they're outside.
right.
I mean,
I
anyway,
know,
so
I
it's-
hear you.
Yeah.
Let's go back to Char's idea and check with the haulers. And if their complaint comes in, so we know what our resources are available to the city, then make decisions based on what they say.
Well, that's for B, for sure. I think we're all in agreement for B.
Yep.
We're just trying to get rid of A.
If we take care of B, I'm fine with leaving A the way it is. If it's in short-term rental, leave it there.
Yeah,
I'm indifferent about the homeowners, but I think the problem is the cleanup.
okay. Nope, that's fine. That's fine.
Okay.
All right, so A, let's let that stay. So do I have a motion to keep the way the short-term rental ordinance lays out trash pickup and trash storage?
So moved.
Bob moves to keep it the way it is.
I'll second.
Jamie seconds. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Ayes have it. For B, proposal of amendments to Chapter 40 of the City Code related to mandatory collection. Yes, we have to talk with the haulers. Robin, do we want to,
Table it?
right, send it back to Public Works?
I would table it.
Okay, I'm going to make a motion that we table it and send it back to Public Works.
Okay, I move to table.
Public safety, public safety.
How do we get stuck with garbage?
Because it was a safety issue.
Life safety.
There's a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Jamie seconds. Seeing no further discussion, those in favor of sending it back to public safety signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, same sign. Ayes have it. I threw in C, crosswalk signs and yellow painted curbs on County Road 66. I know this got shot down in Public Works and then it came to public safety. My only concern is driving through town, I saw it again the other day, People are still parking over the yellow line or over the white line right in front of Crafts and Cones, right in front of 66, or Kicks on 66, and right in front of the mini putt.
Question for you, is that a violation? If their truck is half on the white lane and half in the traffic lane?
I just want to make it clear in front of those three businesses where it gets narrow and people park on the other side of the road, if we paint it with yellow, then there's no way we can give them a warning. They just get a ticket right away.
It would be a ticket anyway.
I know, but
I
I mean,
haven't seen it.
time and time
It
again,
doesn't have to be signage and painting?
Yeah,
Have them both?
there'd have to be both.
time and time again. I saw it again. I called you last week and you were doing your deal, so. But it's all the time.
So there's only about a foot wide.
And they still
shoulder
park,
there.
and then there's a car parked on the other side, and you have two passing, and it's almost,
Well, people need to call that in so we can go and tow the car.
right,
then.
but not everybody does.
Because they're parked to the road.
Right in front of Crafts and Cones. They do it between Kicks and Crafts and Cones. And they park on the Crafts and Cones side. Yes, I've seen 3 cars do it.
I've seen 2.
So I think we could at least paint some yellow and make it more obvious.
Ain't gonna work. If
Well-
they're parking there now, they're still gonna park there, I guarantee it.
I don't know. We need to at least do something to say we tried. At least I think.
It only took a few tickets at Ace Hardware last summer.
Yeah, nobody's called us on this, and.
Right.
And if a car's parked there even if they're there for 15 minutes, that doesn't mean one of us are gonna drive by to see that, so.
I hear you.
Oh.
That's why I called, but
Well,
I
don't call
never-
me,
Well, Jen was gone.
don't
I-
call me or Jen, call the numbers you're supposed to call to report it.
Okay, okay. We'll call 911
No, not
or whatever the
911. You
heck it
can call
is.
911 and say-
they'll send me to the right spot.
It'll say
I
the
don't
same
want to be that person, but I guess I'll
But that's
have to
why,
be.
like you said, you tried calling and I was busy,
No,
so.
I hear you. I hear you.
That's
I'll
why I
take
didn't get
that.
message.
I'll take that. So I still think some paint to at least say we tried. Bob?
Would the yellow curb at least be a deterrent, even if we can't really enforce it, more so than it is now? I don't know.
I don't think so. I think if they got.
They're gonna park
if
there
they're-
anyway?
If they're that, I don't
Yeah.
want a term I want to use, but if they're like that and they're
The yellow
parking there,
anymore. I mean, I haven't seen people
hanging out
park-
in the lane of traffic by 3 feet, the yellow curb's not gonna change anything.
I haven't seen people park where we sprayed yellow, so.
Okay, so second question, can we paint County Road 66 in front of there without county permission, or do we have to go back? We can.
We can, but I let them know what we're doing before we do it.
Just right in front of those 3 businesses.
I just,
Yellow paint?
yes.
I make a motion that we paint, well, before I make that,
It can't be enforced unless there's also signs.
well,
Do you have some?
but,
Oh, they
well, hold
have
on.
But
you don't-
if
you
they're
don't-
parked there, I see where you're going. If they're parked there,
They're in the right of way.
in the lane of traffic,
So,
then yeah.
I mean, it's a public safety thing, so.
To those stores, they're gonna park in front of the church.
Well,
Yellow. All or nothing.
Hey, write no parking in white on the yellow. Any yellow, write no parking in white. We don't need more, we don't need more.
all right.
signs.
no, we
All right.
wouldn't need a sign, because if they're parking there, they're gonna be, they're gonna be right away.
Yeah, that says no parking right at the church. Let's see why don't we start with signs? 2 or 3 signs.
County has to do them, county road.
Signs, we have to go through county.
They
You can
won't
do
go
paint, you
for
can't
it.
do signs. It's up to
County won't go for it. They don't even go for frickin' speed signs, so
Jamie,
just give it a try.
Does
I'll
that
make the motion.
resolution
Jamie,
say
you wanna make
signs
it?
too?
Go ahead, Char.
Does what?
That resolution, are we responsible for signs and painting?
Yes. Yep.
We would
We're
need,
responsible for
responsible
signs.
signs we would need, they're already in violation of, if they're parking on that side of the road, they're already in violation, because they're in the right of way, they're in the lane.
I think a sign
Even though
makes
it's a
more
county
sense than
road,
painting.
we would purchase the signs.
Well, let's start with the
We
sign.
have an agreement with that.
Let's start with 2 signs. Somewhere close. I figure 1 down there and 1 by Crafts and Cones.
Do we want more signs on that?
signs from the school all the way down to the, mini button right now, aren't there? Great
I think there's sign,
Great big, no parking signs there.
Maybe we should, this is just a thought, but maybe like Jake is now, you've been made aware of this situation and maybe give it some time to see if all your officers know to look at that, and maybe a few tickets get, written up, and I don't know.
It's not the local people that are doing it,
Right.
it's the weekend people, like the tourists and stuff, and so I don't know that word really gets out there because they don't all know each other.
All you gotta do
But
is
like,
go on Facebook Locals and
when
see
Ox
the
Lake
pictures.
Tavern that had that spot, when they did that, that word kinda got out there, but that's a lot of locals that go there, lately. But yeah, we could,
I
think
have
the
an idea.
paint
How
would be
about we
the
start with
deterrent
this? How about we paint from the north side of Whistling Wolf's driveway to the north side of the exit entrance of Crafts and Cones on the, whatever side of the road that would be. Yeah, east side of the road.
I like that.
I'll second that
You
motion.
get see if they're just
Right,
back.
and then if
Let's
they're
start
gonna,
with that small. I'll make a motion to paint that.
good job, Jamie.
Thank you, Jamie. I'll second that.
And Robin seconds.
So that's the only place, right?
That's the only place for now. We're gonna yellow it up.
Nails, and you've got,
Well, you can park on that side.
right.
Except for where the bump out is, yeah.
Across the street.
the Public Safety Commission also made, we didn't talk about the east side of the road. We talked about the west side of the road.
Right.
We feel we should paint, according to a couple of these resolutions,
So that covers C, right?
I was gonna say,
yeah,
let's,
the resolution we have with the county anyway, we're gonna, north side of the driveway to Holly's Hair and Nails.
let's, hold on, let's just get this motion that's on the table done with first.
Oh, that's right.
And then we're gonna roll into that. So there's a motion, there's a second to paint from the north side of Whistling Wolf driveway entrance to the north side of Crafts and Cones. Entrance on the curb or the exit, Jamie?
On the exit, and there's already one on there from Eagle Pass that goes south.
Okay, I just wanted,
Connect those two, I would
yep, perfect. So there's a motion, there's a second. Any further discussion on that motion? Seeing no further discussion on that motion, those in favor of painting signify by saying aye. Aye, opposed, same sign. Ayes have it. Okay, go ahead, Jake.
Yellow on the north side of the driveways of Holly's, Bank of Commerce, and Zorba's, which that allows people pulling out of those
I gotta see, yeah, no,
driveways.
totally.
A line of sight to that southbound lane of traffic before they actually have to get their car in there, because if people park there, they're trying to look around, and then they get hit pulling out, because they're already out in lane of traffic before they can even see oncoming traffic. So we did that last year with, a lot of them, but we didn't do anything down in that, new construction zone, because we knew it'd just be torn out the following year, so it was after
I think that's
busy season
appropriate.
anyway. So just those three on the west side of the highway. And then you got a picture of the pedestrian crosswalk signs. The Public Safety Commission thought we should put them on County Road 66 at Swan Drive, Echo Drive, Ball Eagle Trail, Log Landing, and Daggett Pine Road. The cost is approximately $400 each. I just kind of went online today and looked around. There's a little bit of price difference between companies and what kind of sign you're getting. I'll leave that up to Pat to,
Did you check
Figure
with
out the
Lori?
sign.
Like, do we have that in the budget?
it would be, whose budget? It'd be his.
Lori?
Public Works budget. Signs. Signs.
I
come
like
out of
spending
that.
your budget, Pat. So,
I like the idea. I do.
we had those before, and what I feel it does, it puts something in the middle of the road, and a lot of people, kind of makes that road feel tighter.
Yeah.
So people kind of tend to slow down when that something is right there on that center line. So we decided that option, Jackson, out of,
No, I think
Out
that's
of
out of
everything
what
we
I
had.
mentioned. Yeah,
yeah, that was one of your options, and we felt that option would be the best option.
okay. Okay.
Did this go through public safety?
Yes, this is all in regards to C.
But I mean, did they,
It did.
Yes,
Yeah,
they approved
the
it?
committee, yes, this is all coming from the committee.
I would like to entertain a motion that we pass this with the contingent that Lori can isolate the funding, make sure that we have enough. You have enough paint for the paint on that, Pat?
Yeah, we have plenty of paint, and, my budget has room in it yet. But like County Road, when you do the one on Daggett Pine Road in 66, if you have any semis pulling out, they're gonna take them out.
The reason we don't have any of these signs left is because they have been destroyed. We used to have these.
Gotcha.
You know, it's, when you're pulling a big semi, they're
Yeah.
gonna take them out.
Thank you for
They
that.
don't do it on purpose, but that's what happens. So like Daggett, like I said, that one's gonna get mowed down nonstop. So you got semis pulling in and out of that one for sure.
Is there a reason why you guys didn't want to paint the crosswalks white again? Did Lori not mention?
I don't paint crosswalks.
Ha 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 ha.
So you're talking about
What,
going
they're not, what do you mean they're not painted?
I had just asked her what she thought of the idea of just
People when it gets in the middle there anywhere, it's gonna get taken out.
well, the crosswalks up to the north.
To the north, yeah.
So if there's one in the middle by that crosswalk, you're saying that's gonna be taken out too?
So you have the possibility of anyone pulling a bigger trailer, you're gonna take them out.
Okay.
Go ahead, you're
No,
good.
You go ahead.
Oh, no, my only thing was when I was asking Lori and getting this put on the agenda was just saying painting the yellow on the curb in those sections of business and then just repainting our crosswalks white again. So did that part make it too, or no? Okay, so that was my only thing.
Do you have extra white paint?
Yeah, we got,
So we've got white paint for crosswalks. Maybe we just,
I'll amend my motion to say, let's take
Yes.
care of the yellow curbing on the 3 identified locations, as well as enhance the white crosswalk paint.
perfect. Motion is amended. Does anyone second that amended motion?
I'll second that.
Sandy seconds, conversation, discussion. Bob, go ahead.
I think we still need some of these. You might not want to do the one at Daggett, but I think they're very,
I think they slow traffic down.
yeah, I think they're a good thing to have.
But if they're gonna get clipped by a semi, I know in some of these areas they may not, but if something hangs over or something and clips one, that's just the risk we take of buying it.
It happens.
Right, exactly.
They're made to get hit. They're gonna take summit views,
Right,
you know?
Right.
But yeah, after they get hit multiple times, then they're gonna break,
The
but
one at Swan will be up on the concrete island a little bit there, by where the crosswalk is. It'll be. should
is
be
there,
protected.
yeah, that one
oh,
would be.
isn't there yeah, there's the flashing signs,
so
yeah.
since we have the money right now for all the painting we just discussed, can we approve that first and then come back into this conversation, Bob?
All right.
All
We
right,
have a first
so
and a
there's a
second.
first and a second. Those in favor of,
Should, you're gonna paint the county roads? Can you do that?
yeah, we said as long as Pat notifies them what we're doing, yes. Okay, so there's a first, there's a second on painting yellow curbing as well as these other yellow curbs on the north side of Holly's Hair, north side of the Bank of Commerce, and the north side of the driveway to Zorba's, as well as updating our crosswalks with white paint. Those in favor of doing so signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, same sign. Ayes have it. All right, Bob, go back into your conversation.
If we eliminate Daggett Pine, I think we should still do it at Swan, Echo, Bald Eagle, and Log Landing in County Road 66.
Which one did you want to eliminate? I'm sorry.
Daggett.
I eliminated
Daggett, okay,
Pine.
that's what I hit. Right.
Well, we can't, they get hit, I mean.
But I mean, that's a big one.
I hate spending $400 on signs that are just.
Exactly.
destroyed. I mean, can we just see how the renewed paint on the crosswalks work and the,
If it slows traffic, if it saves a life, if it does what, and we can't predict what it's gonna do, but it's all about being proactive rather than reactive in some cases.
I definitely get the one on Swan, because like you said, that'll be in the center median, up on concrete, whatever.
kids' school and.
That one makes sense. But the Bald Eagle Trail one, if someone's pulling in on out of there to go deliver ice cream to Crafts and Cones and they get smacked right away, I could see that. Yeah, but they don't blinky all the time.
And they don't use them all the time.
And by Swan, it wouldn't be on concrete, it'd still be on the pavement, wouldn't it?
When, on Swan, it would be in the median, up on the island?
Yeah.
Right.
Can we just start with the one on
So
Swan?
it's gonna be a little south of that intersection.
I think Chip has a comment on this.
Go ahead.
I think you have to do the one at Log Landing too. Because there's so many, there's nothing there. People running across to their boat and you don't even know they're there.
Yep.
Well, I did say Log Landing. I
Yeah.
want to do all four of them except.
These are different than the ones we used to have.
Yeah.
These
Are
are
they?
different, yes.
Yes.
Okay.
These take abuse.
Bigger.
Is that like
These are
a
different.
springy thing that goes if it gets
Much longer
smacked?
base, yes.
Hey, okay.
Okay, they used to get stolen too.
That's true, that's true. Bob, I like your point on that. Since it may or may not be in the budget, is there any
I thought Pat said
grants or anything?
could cover it.
I don't think
No,
so.
all I
He-
can cover is the paint.
Right, he doesn't have it in the budget for anything else. Is there, Chip, anything for signage grants of any sort? Is there anything for grants or anything, like signage, safety stuff that this could be tacked onto?
I haven't looked into that.
Sounds good. Bob, take it away. Jamie.
I would make a motion to approve $2,000 for 5 signs to be assigned to these locations, and if the money is not available in Public Works, then we utilize the $2,000 from the phone company sale funds.
I would second that motion. I think that's a good idea. There's some funds in there that we could tap onto for safety purposes. I think that's a
See
good,
how long they last throughout the summer, and if we need to replace 2 a year, then we budget for 2
Yep.
a year or 3 a year.
I think that's a good idea.
I'd second that motion.
We'll let Bob take the second. Bob has the second. Seeing that there's a motion and a second, all those in favor of Jamie's motion of up to $2,000 for 4 locations signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign.
Aye.
Or 4 ayes and 1 nay.
There wasn't discussion after the second. Is it $400 per sign, or is it?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's why I said no. So yes, I will support that.
Okay.
And it's 5 signs, right? 5 signs.
5.
5.
Okay.
Okay. I thought we were knocking out Daggett Pine, but
We're gonna do it and take a chance.
that's fine. That's fine. So let's just reiterate that motion again, Jamie.
Yep.
Motion was for the purchase of 5 signs at $400 apiece for $2,000 to be placed at these locations.
And then Sandy, you seconded or Bob did? No, Bob did.
Bob did.
Bob, are you still seconding? Yes. Okay. Those in favor of that motion signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, same sign. Ayes have it. A speed study, I think this is kind of in conjunction with Council Member Sylvester and Jake? Or is this brought up by Council Member Sylvester?
This was brought by Councilmember Sylvester to the Public Safety Commission.
Perfect.
To do a speed study at 37, do you have that address?
I actually brought it into your office,
Yeah.
so it would be recorded as to what the mile marker was on 3. Let's see if I can find it.
It's the one north of,
See if we'll have it in a
on the,
second.
by Little Pine Lake or Daggett?
Yes.
On that, yes.
Yeah, through that.
Up
through those-
to Boy Scout Road,
Up to
right?
Boy Scout Road, yeah.
Yes.
How much do those usually run, Jake?
But
Bob?
I've never done one, so
How much
I have
do
no
they
idea.
charge?
But
Does anyone
Bob
know how
talked
much
to
they
some- didn't
cost
you
us?
I don't think we paid for those.
Okay, because I've always, I like where Councilmember Sylvester is going. I like where Councilmember Sylvester is going with this, because anytime I've ever called Tim Bray, the county, or MnDOT, they say, they won't do it because they've already done their study, and their study says they're not going to change the speed. So I've tried, and I like where Council Sylvester is going with this, but that's where we're at.
And if I can.
Go ahead,
add
Robin.
Clarity, because you guys educated me on this. The signs out there are recommended 45 miles per hour. It is not a mandated 45 miles per hour.
Correct.
And I videoed myself driving with my phone up on my case, right? So I could watch where I would slow down. And it was clear that coming to those curves, if you don't slow down, there's driveways in blind sides right there when you turn, and it is dangerous. And I know Tim Bray sent me all of the studies from 2017 to today, what have been done up here for Cross Lake, and it's insurmountable, but it's still important. So I still feel that we have to take the direction for the constituents and send this request forward. Thanks. Go ahead, Bob, you were talking to Tim?
Yes, I spoke with Tim Wednesday morning after our public safety meeting. I saw him down at the gathering at the other meeting. And he said, go for it. He said, it's a good idea. He says, it's good for your constituents. He said, it can be expensive, it can be time consuming, it could be a year or longer before, if they agree to do it, before it would get done. And it's a state that approves it. And he said, I'm not sure that you're gonna make any progress because they're gonna look at their last review, which wasn't that long ago, when they widened the road down there, when they redid County Road 3. He said, I think you should do it. He said, you need to at least show your constituents that you're proactive on this. There's that proactive word again.
There it is. There it is. No, I'm in all support of it. You know, there's no foul harm in sending the flag up the pole. Sandy, Bob, or Sandy, Jamie?
I'm in support of it.
Okay.
I want to know if it's going to cost us any money first, but
Well, I think if we just send a letter of recommendation that we'd be interested in doing one, and then we'll see what the cost is coming back. You know, at least we have a consensus letter that we could send in support of acquiring a cost and seeing what it
I'll
would
check
be.
on the cost for the last one done, but
Okay.
I don't think there was one.
Okay.
I don't believe it's on the city, the municipality. It's Casal Road, and the state that conducts the study.
Okay.
But I think it's fair enough to put in the motion.
Oh, totally.
To have a clear understanding of the city's cost.
No, I think that's great. I commend you and your efforts. Shar, if we make that motion, can you draft up a letter of support?
Sure.
Thank you. Okay, is there a motion?
I'll make the motion. I don't know the. 37870. Mile marker on County Road 3 all the way up to Boy Scout Road, looking for consideration of the state to do a study on speed limit there and requesting it to be not recommended to be 45 miles per hour, but looking for it to be actual 45 or their recommendation.
Okay, there's a motion. Clarification, go ahead, Bob.
That's a street address, not a mile marker.
Okay, what is there wasn't even a mile marker out there.
There's not mile marker.
So it's street address,
Street
correct,
address,
thank you.
Okay, so street address, that's been clarified. There's still a motion. Is there a second? I will second. There's a second. Seeing any further discussion. Go ahead.
Well, I'm just wondering if an actual posted speed limit sign versus a recommended speed would actually make a difference.
There's a difference because it'd be enforceable.
Yep, enforcement.
Okay.
And if we talk about safety, I mean, we're doing our due diligence to try to slow it down, coming around those curves to those driveways or people going out to their mailbox.
Yep.
I feel like we'd have a dereliction of our duty if we didn't address at least their concern and request it. Thank you, Sandy.
There's a motion. There's a second. Those in favor of sending a letter of support for doing a speed study signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, same sign. Ayes have it.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Counselor.
Robin. All right, Mr. TJ, Parks and Rec update.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I have just two quick things for you tonight. The first is just an update on our Phase 1 Master Plan project that we have going on right now. Anderson Brothers finished paving on May 30th. So everything is wrapped up there with paving. Last week, my staff spread and graded all the black dirt and got prepped for seed and fertilizer for this week. Today, Elite Fence started installing the new fence on the pickleball courts. The parking lot is scheduled to be striped next week. And Lee Sports is scheduled to start surfacing the 4 new pickleball courts on July 7th. That'll probably take the entire week. And then the new plan is to have them come back in September to resurface the existing courts. So the initial plan was to have them come here, surface the new courts, resurface all the existing. They told me that would take up pretty much the entire month of July. That's our busiest time of the year for those courts. So we were able to work it out with them with no incurred costs, to have them surface the 4 new and come back in the fall when things slow down to resurface the existing. So everything worked out well there, and if you guys have went by and have checked it out, we're making pretty good progress. If you haven't, I'll feel free to reach out. We'll take you on a tour and show you what's going on.
Awesome, TJ.
Looks good.
Love the update. Keep up the good work.
Second one in front of you here, we just got this draft contract agreement to us on Friday. Karen's been working with Kichigami Regional Library System and the DNR to hopefully get this put in place. Essentially, in a nutshell, what this is, I'll read it verbatim. The DNR is collaborating with public libraries across the state to provide free 7-day state park passes for checkout within libraries. The DNR's goal is to offer this program is to provide a way for Minnesotans living in low to moderate income communities across the state to visit state parks without the financial barrier of an entry fee. So no cost to the city, it's just a free program that we offer in our library.
Go Jamie.
Cool.
Karen.
I think, oh, Karen, that's right.
Yeah, Karen's been working hard on that one.
Good job.
This is just, yeah.
So we would need an approval to have me or a representative from the city to sign this contract.
I move that we accept this contract.
I'll second that.
There's a motion, there's a second. Is there any discussion?
Yes, can you add direct TJ to go ahead and sign that?
TJ can sign it, that's fine.
Can that be in your motion?
I say, can you amend your motion to have TJ sign?
Okay, I move to have TJ sign this contract.
Andy amends, Bob?
Yes.
Bob amends. Motion, is there, okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, same sign. Ayes have it. Thanks, TJ.
Thanks, guys.
Public Works, memo dated June 2nd, 2025, the cemetery columbarium. Yeah, it's a tongue twister.
We kind of looked into it, talked to Phil a little bit. The cost is like $150,000 to $200,000 because it has to be all concrete, tornado resistant and everything.
How many spaces is it?
We just kind of drew a number on that. But it's a lot of money to throw out there to have one or two maybe. I think, Shar, didn't you say that they can put their ashes in a headstone now? You know, if they want to do that, stay above ground, they can do something like that.
Okay. Nice.
So just need a,
Well, I'll make a motion to forego further research into the columbarium.
I'll second that motion.
There's a motion, there's a second to not go forward with more research of the columbarium. Is there any further discussion? Seeing no further discussion, those in favor of not going forward with more research of the columbarium signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, same sign. Ayes have it. Memo dated June 2nd, extended sidewalk on County Road 66.
right, that'd go from Crafts and Cones all the way up to, well, just shy of the bridge, you want to go up to the road.
Yep.
Rough estimate was like it's gonna be $40,000 or $50,000, maybe some engineering fees in there.
Was this with concrete or is this with the asphalt?
That's with asphalt.
That's with the
'Cause
asphalt.
Asphalt is half price of
Yep.
concrete.
Yep.
And if it deteriorates in 20, 30 years, you could replace it and you're still money ahead.
Exactly.
I think it's important that we do this.
I think it's
too.
important too. So this is just going forward with the idea.
Well, yep,
Okay, Sandy, is
I move to move forward with this action.
there a second?
I'll second that.
Bob seconds. Those in favor of going forward with the idea of an asphalt sidewalk extension on County Road 66 signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, same sign. Ayes have it. Memo dated June 2nd, Crow Wing County Transportation Study.
yes. Shows all our long-term plans, surveys, everything that we're looking for. Looking for you guys, a motion from you guys to keep going with it.
So it's looking good to you? You're comfortable with it? You're feeling good?
Yep.
Okay, Ms. Nelson?
I think this is so that we put it on our website.
Correct. Mary Prescott on the committee has requested that we, as a city, put a link to the long-range planning so constituents can go out there and provide feedback. So she's looking for council's support and the city to then put a link to the long-range planning for folks in engagement.
That's the motion right there.
That is the motion. Okay, I make the motion.
I'll second that motion.
That sucks. Sandy seconds. Those in favor of going forward with putting the link for the transportation plan on our website signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, same sign. Ayes have it. Thank you, thank you. This is now discussion/review of the conditions of Wilderness Parkway.
Yes.
How did that look once Anderson Brothers pulled back
They
that
pulled it
Class
back.
5?
We did find some buried roots and different things, but we got it all cleaned up.
Okay,
They put it back. I think he's in the process of taking care of the Class 5 right now to get the proper thickness.
So-
And then we're moving forward on it. So-
all right. This is just an update.
Just
There's
an
no
update.
council
No.
action here.
Nope.
Phil says there's still some more action to do.
It sounds like it's moving in the right
It's-
direction.
Yes.
Yes, it's moving in the
yes.
right direction,
It's
100%.
looking good, and I guess they did some studies the other day and a test maybe today or some other day, and they said it all passed.
Yep.
So we're going in the right direction.
Yep.
Awesome, thank
And I was
you.
gonna bring up, since I'm up here, Harbor
Yeah.
Lane. They started taking all the grub and trees and stuff out on Harbor Lane, so that's moving. They won't start real construction till the 7th of July.
Fantastic.
And
Pat,
most of
you're-
all
Pat-
this, what's that?
Well, I'm just going to tell you, you're doing a great job.
Thank you. And all the major road work we did
Yeah.
is nearing completion.
Good job.
I got a couple of little things we gotta button up, otherwise it's all looking pretty good. They're
Keep
gonna
it
be doing all their seal coats Tuesday of next week.
Fantastic. Awesome,
So
Pat.
somehow we're gonna have to work with you so you can get in the back half of your fire hall and they do the front half, and we're gonna do the same thing down to Andy's. They're gonna do half the parking lot and come back to the other half. So you can always get your equipment in and out.
Look at that, leaving the light on for you, Chip. Pat, any other update?
No, I think that was it.
Awesome, good job, thank you. All right, Mr. Paul, Planning and Zoning. Second reading and approval of an ordinance amendment naming an unnamed road as Wilderness Parkway and approval. Wilderness Parkway, that's Dave's Road, right?
That, yes.
Okay, are we holding off until everything else is done before we put it into our,
No reason to.
This is just naming.
Yeah, just.
oh, just naming, okay,
just naming
okay.
the
I
road.
didn't know if as soon as it got its name, it was good to go, or what, if the city was committed. Is there anything you'd like to say on it?
Nope.
Okay.
And did you read, and the approval to publish the summary in the official newspaper?
Yes,
Okay.
sorry. Everyone,
I'll make a motion to approve.
Robin motions to approve of the naming of the road and publishing the summary in the newspaper. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Jamie seconds. Is there any further discussion? Seeing no further discussion, those in favor of approving Wilderness Parkway on our road, the naming Wilderness Parkway and putting it in the newspaper signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, same sign. Ayes have it. Go ahead.
All right, B, second reading and approval of an ordinance amendment in the land use table, adding a golf course in the RR5 as a conditional use permit, and adding the retail sale of cannabis in limited commercial district in the approval to publish summary in the official newspaper.
Obviously, those two are separate. We're just putting them in one motion, correct?
Yes, because it's
Okay.
all in the land use
Just
table.
wanted for clarification.
I move to approve.
Sandy moves. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Bob seconds. Seeing that there's a second, is there any further discussion? Seeing no further discussion, those in favor of approving the second reading of changing golf course into the RR5 as a conditional use permit and adding the retail of cannabis in limited commercial district and putting a summary in the paper signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, same sign. Ayes have it. Go ahead.
Letter C, second reading and approval of an ordinance amendment in Land Use Article 7 for conditional/interim use permits, adding a sunset clause and approval to publish summary in the official newspaper.
So, can you just go over that, please? Just
Yeah,
so we
so,
have it on tape.
as of right now, if you were to come in and get a variance, you'd have a 2-year window
Yep.
to get that started and
Yep.
to get it primarily finished. We wanted the same verbiage as a conditional use. So a conditional use, if they get approved, they would at least need to get that started in the first 2 years, so we don't have conditional uses hanging out there for 20 years. Because it does, a conditional use carries with the land.
Okay.
Even if they sell it, it goes with the land, not the owner. And so we just don't want to see conditional use permits hanging out there for 20 years if they haven't been started.
I think 2 years is very reasonable.
I think that's fair.
Yeah.
Is there
City-
any-
I mean, city ordinances change and we just don't want outstanding conditional uses out there.
Is there any further discussion on this? Is there a motion to approve?
Go ahead.
Sandy makes a motion to
Okay.
approve. Bob seconds. Any further discussion? Seeing no further discussion, those in favor of the second reading for the land use map for Article 7 for the conditional/interim use permits, adding a sunset clause and approval to publish in the newspaper, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, same sign. Ayes have it.
All right, letter D, second reading and approval of ordinance amendment, section 26-549, to not give credit for permeable surfacing system as pervious surface, and the approval to publish summary in the official newspaper.
Can I ask why this came up? Because I know people will spend the extra dollar to do the impervious, pervious asphalt, so water goes through, which I think is, personally, I think is okay. But
Well, yeah, it came up for a number of different reasons. The reason that, or the reason we see people use this part of the ordinance is when they're at 25% and they want to develop more. It's not necessarily used for, hey, I want to put in a really good stormwater management plan and therefore I'm going to put in impervious pavers. It's, hey, I'm at 25%, I want to build more. So then they come in and they make their entire driveway pervious pavers, therefore they can get more structure. And that's all fine and good, but it's hard on the back end because they need to provide a yearly maintenance log, which we don't see. They need to prove that it stays pervious, which is hard. And a lot of times we need to, if it's over 400 square feet, it needs to be engineered. All three of those are extremely hard to enforce. And then the issue is, let's say 3 years down the road, we say, hey, we notice you have an impervious driveway. And now we go out there and it's no longer pervious. I'm not qualified actually to say whether it is or isn't, so they have to get an engineer or somebody certified to tell me that it's pervious. And if it isn't, do I have to tell them, you have to tear up your whole driveway? You need to tear down the structure that you built 3 years ago because now you're at 35% impervious.
Could we have them request a variance if it's for like the very noble reason of having better stormwater, you know?
Yeah, and there could be maybe an after-the-fact variance. And, Cheryl and I were just at a regional conference, and we're one of the few communities that still allow this. All the other communities are going away from it just for those reasons. It's extremely hard to enforce and it causes a lot of issues.
not as long as you had a good explanation, that's all I needed to hear.
Crow Wing County still does it. They're trying to get rid of it. But as far as all the other surrounding communities, they've all gone away with it.
That's all I needed to hear.
That's fine, makes sense.
That makes sense to me. Is there a motion?
Yeah, I'll move to approve this ordinance.
Sandy moves. Is
I'll
there?
second.
Jamie seconds. Any further discussion? Seeing no further discussion, those in favor of this, approving the ordinance amendment to not give credit for permeable surface system as a pervious surface approval and to approve it in the summary in the official newspaper signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, same sign. Ayes have it. Paul, thank you.
Thank you.
Public forum, this is for those persons that wish to address the council. The council recognizes the value of a citizen's input. The time will be limited to 3 minutes or longer if the mayor feels necessary. Pat?
Good evening. I would like to first go back to the bears and the garbage. And something that maybe should be considered, and Bob, I was thinking of you when you were saying people that leave on Sunday night. When I used to be that person that left on Sunday night and came back up, we hauled our garbage away ourselves. And there's options of places around that you can drop your bags of garbage, however much you can fit in one big bag for $6.
Yeah.
So maybe people who are having problems with bears that are scattered and are getting charged would rather choose that option, but maybe don't know that that option is available close by, that they don't have to haul it all the way home. That's just something that could be thrown out there in a letter or in a correspondence, or if they're getting a fine for having to pick up garbage, they can be told, you can drop your garbage off for $6 a bag, and there you go. Done with the problem.
Great idea.
Good promo.
So, and then on to the next thing. I would like to thank you, the city, for purchasing the flowers that were planted on the bridges as an ongoing project that started with the Minnesota Design Team, Flowers on the Bridge. And I'd like to thank the Garden Club I have a couple pictures here of some garden club members who helped plant the flowers on the bridges, and kudos to them. And they are taking over this project because they're no longer doing the barrels on the corner of Andy's, and this is their way to give back to the community. And then Terry, one of the garden club members, who is the one with the glasses and the grayer hair, she came to the campground after this whole project was done. And we want to thank Thrivent Financial for Lutherans, and Cindy Mugato and Brenda Larock and myself, who applied for grants, and we each got $250, so we're able to plant $750 worth of plants at the Corps of Engineers campgrounds.
Good job.
And it was a very long day of planting for me and a few others, because there were several people who were unable to attend. So there were a couple of campground volunteers, and it was great. And the flowers over there look good, and the volunteers are really into keeping them watered. I can show you just a few pictures. This is Cindy Nelson's memorial bench.
Well, that turned out beautiful.
Flowers. Pardon me?
So that turned out beautiful.
Yeah. And then there's some of the volunteers, the barrels that we did. This is the new area by the Corps building there. We were able to plant that, and then you can see the side of the Corps where we planted the marigolds.
Gorgeous.
Next to the brown building, the barrels. And so it was a good day, and we feel very blessed to have been able to do this to enhance the beauty in Cross Lake.
Nice
So-
job.
That looks great. Thank you. Appreciate that. Dave, come on up. Oh, wrong direction.
Dave Nevin, 38720. I want to piggyback on Pat's garbage comment.
Yeah.
They can take it down to Cross Lake Roll-Off, dump it off, it's gone.
Yeah.
There is a place, when you first turn up Manhattan Point Boulevard, the first place on your left, for the last 10 years, 365 days a year, they have got 3 garbage cans stored on the sidewalk or right off of the sidewalk. And I don't understand why all of us people who live here all the time have got to look at their garbage cans all the time.
Why are you out
Yeah.
there every day?
That's just where they leave them. They're
do you
there
know-
all the time.
Do you know the people who live there?
No, it's a rental place.
Oh.
So,
Chip, make a call.
but I mean, that's just where they leave them, all the time. All
Well,
winter, all the time.
Sounds like that one's warranted a call.
Yeah.
Second thing I want to comment on, going up Manhattan Point Boulevard again, we've got that stormwater pond sitting there that is really turning green. A
Right.
couple of years ago, I looked into putting a fountain in there, and it was like $6,000 with the spray-up fountain feature.
Yeah.
I'd just like you guys to think about that. I think
Okay.
it'd clean the water up a little bit, and a lot of traffic goes up that road, it would look nice.
Just let's send that to Public Works. Let's make a motion to send that to Public Works right
Right on the
now.
corner, yeah.
Just so-
Our stormwater pond, it gets all that.
Just so it,
Right where Manhattan,
yes, right in front.
Yeah, right in front, right.
that would look nice.
Just so we're proactive on that, let's just make a motion to send it to Public Works, and then they'll bring it back to the
It's
council.
just, I mean, it would really be a feature.
No, I hear
out
ya.
there turning up.
I hear ya.
And it would clean that pond up.
It would.
Yeah, I'll make a motion to send that to Public Works.
There's a second.
Okay, you got it,
Or sorry,
Jamie.
there's a motion.
I'll
There's
second.
Ms. Sylvester seconds. Those in favor of sending this fountain idea over to Public Works for a recommendation signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Ayes have it. So that'll come forward next time around.
Electricity for a fountain.
Cindy,
There's power right there.
there's a box.
Cindy Mugato, Cross Lake Chamber. I have one question about a comment that you made about the roundabout on 103, 3, and 36.
Yep.
And when they do that project, you said there will be a detour.
We're still
That word freaks me out.
milling the idea over
So
of where
there's
it's gonna go.
Schaefer, Gender Road, Pine
We'll see,
Terrace.
we'll see. There's talk about there's other spots, making another bypass road maybe or something. There's many ideas in the works. There's
Okay.
no set idea or set path or best path yet. It's just,
It's It's not going through Brenny's parking lot.
No, it's
Did
just the
they
preliminary.
talk about at a last meeting, at a prior meeting, that they were gonna?
Yes, we're talking with Tony Marks and trying to figure out some other stuff first, so.
Okay.
The emphasis is to keep businesses open
Yeah.
and traffic flowing.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome.
Point taken.
Anybody else? We will be closing public forum. Any new business? Does any council member have new business? No. Does any city staff? Go, come on.
I'm sorry.
Pat again.
I forgot to give a shout out to Pat and his crew for getting the watering system up on the bridges, planters, and they
Oh.
seem to be working well.
Nice job, Pat.
Thank you for getting that done. Appreciate it.
Good job.
Need to talk to me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Usually it's the other way around, Pat. Usually you're saying, don't leave, I need to talk to you. All right, any new business from any council members? Any any new business from any city staff members? Chip?
You go.
If you'll see some excavation stuff going on at our cold stores, they're going to be paving the entrance to the garages, doors next week, paid for by a grant that I got.
Congratulations once again, Mr. Grant, man. Any other new business from any other city staff?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I have, I just passed it out in front of you, but I am writing to City of Cross Lake to formally resign from my position as Planning and Zoning Administrator for the City of Cross Lake. This decision comes with great deal of reflection and appreciation. It's been a privilege to serve the City of Cross Lake and contribute to the community's growth and character through thoughtful planning and zoning practices. I valued the opportunity to work with the dedicated team and committed citizens on projects that have lasting impact. Over the coming weeks, I'll do everything I can to ensure a smooth transition, completing active projects, organizing key documents, and providing any necessary support to the department and city staff or city council as needed during this time. I just wanted to thank you for the trust and support throughout my time here. I'm proud of what we've accomplished together and will carry forward many positive memories and experiences from my service to this city.
Paul, we're definitely going to miss you, and I just, this sucks, obviously. I thank you for all your work that you've done in City Hall. We're going to miss your smile and your personality. It definitely makes City Hall lively for sure. But once again, thank you for your dedicated service to the City of Cross Lake. It's been a wild year and a half with you for all good. But once again, thank you for being here for the City of Cross Lake. We've appreciated your service and we hate to see you leave. But congratulations on your new upcoming job. It sounds like it's going to be just a perfect fit for you. So,
Well,
but
I
thank you.
feel like I'm going to cry, so.
When's your potential last day?
I got to work out that contractually with my union and contract, but projected would be July 3rd. The 4th of July is on a Friday, so I'd work up until that Thursday.
Can I ask what your new position is? Who are you leaving us for?
You don't need to say if you don't want to.
No, you don't have to.
I'm taking a position with Sourcewell.
Oh.
So does that mean we can just hire him back from Sourcewell?
Yeah, right. We'll start the bartering process with Sourcewell. But once again, Paul, congratulations. This is going to be a big position for you and your growth, and you'll be really good at it. But once again, thank you for your dedication to the City of Cross Lake. Thank you.
A heroic employee, I have to say.
We appreciate that. Any other new business from any other city staff? Sandy, I think you and I need to schedule a personnel meeting for next Wednesday.
Sure.
What time are you available? Anytime? Can you do 9 a.m.?
Mr. Mayor, I think we need to accept his resignation.
Oh, sorry.
I was just going to say.
Yes.
I'll make a motion, sadly, to accept your resignation, Paul.
There's a motion to accept the resignation by Member Sylvester. Is there a second?
I will sadly second that.
I think we all sadly second that. Seeing that there's a second, is there any further discussion? Seeing no further discussion, I think those sadly willing to accept Paul's resignation signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, same sign. Ayes have it. Sandy, you want to do 10 o'clock?
Yeah,
What day is this?
This is going to be Wednesday, the 18th.
compromise.
Okay, hold on. 10 o'clock. All right. Any old business from any council members? Any old business from city staff?
I just, do you guys have an update on the land use committee?
We did meet once and we had positive conversations, and we're gonna meet probably again in like August.
Okay.
And just kind of see if there's an update on what's happening. Any other old business? Seeing no other old business, I have to close this city council meeting for some possible litigation with the city. So I have to ask all of you to please leave. You can just keep it going. Yeah. Shar, can I keep Jake? Can I keep Jake?